Companies are not transparent enough. You look on social media and all you see are the highlights in someone's life. No one's willing to discuss the problems, and this has to do with companies as well. That's why in today's video, we're talking about the problems with the Flood Insurance Guru so you can figure out the Flood Insurance Guru is a good fit for you. Things like pricing and turnaround times and limited options, questions that you have and concerns when purchasing your flood insurance. Well, in today's video, we're going to address those things. We're going to talk about the top 3 problems with the Flood Insurance Guru and what you may need to know in deciding if the Flood Insurance Guru is a good fit for you. So let's get started. Before we do though, remember, share, subscribe, like the channel below. Almost 80% of the people who watch these videos just like you are not subscribers. So go ahead, click that subscribe button. Welcome to the Flood Insurance Guru. I am the owner, Chris Green, and your guide for today's video on the top 3 problems with the Flood Insurance Guru that we're going to talk about today so that you can decide if the Flood Insurance Guru is a good fit for you. So let's talk about problem 1 first. We're talking about pricing. Many times when talking to thousands of customers every year is, hey, your price is higher than the competition, or maybe your price is lower. Why is the price different? Look, at the Flood Insurance Guru, we don't always have the best price. And one of the reasons for that is, we take into a lot of things in consideration when looking at pricing. One thing is what's called surplus policies or not admitted. Sometimes these types of policies require us to put fees on there when it comes to state regulations. Then there's looking at things like your flood zone, your flood risk assessment. Could your flood zone be changed? What is your overall flood risk going to be? How can we potentially help you prepare and protect against that? So all these things are going in as we review all these things, and sometimes we may not have the cheapest price out there, and it's because we're taking a different process than almost anybody else out there and helping you understand the overall picture of your flood risk and verifying if your flood zone is correct. So when it comes to pricing, those may be some of the things that you see at the Flood Insurance Guru. Look, I know that pricing is probably a big concern for you because look, it happened to me. You don't want to get one price and then be told something completely different. You don't want to talk to one person and get something completely different. It happened to me more than a decade ago, where my flood insurance was supposed to be $300 a year. And then a few weeks before closing, it was $3,000 a year. So pricing is a valid concern when shopping for flood insurance. Look, you want to make sure that you're getting the right coverage for your money. And that's why at the Flood Insurance Guru, we're looking at this overall picture for you. So that's number 1. Now let's talk about number 2, and that's turnaround time. We hear from people all the time, your turnaround time is a little bit longer. Hey, I need this policy within 30 minutes. Then look, if you need that policy within 30 minutes, we may not be the best fit for you because what we'd like to do is do the underwriting on the front end. What does that mean for you as a property owner? This means no surprises on the back end. You see, we see it happen too often. It happened to me, is you get to be a few days before you're closing on your home and you find out the cost is different. Not only is it disappointing, but it could completely throw off your loan, and we never want that to happen to you. That's why we do all the underwriting on the front end. We want to make sure there's no surprises for you. We're trying to gather every piece of information on the front end. And in doing so, it may take us up to 24 hours to get that policy issued for you. Now, look, in many situations, we can get these policies issued within a couple of hours, but we're doing our due diligence to make sure that you're properly protected and you have the peace of mind when it comes to these turnaround times. Now let's talk about number 3. And that is limited options. We hear from people all the time. Yeah, I wish you offered auto insurance. I wish you'd offer home insurance. I'd love to put all my insurance with you. Look, for many years, I was an auto and a home insurance agent, and we offered all these different products. Then I decided to shift and start the Flood Insurance Guru many years ago. And in having these limited options, unfortunately, we don't offer bundled policies on flood. Actually, most people don't. But we also don't offer these other products. And one reason is that flood is a moving target. There's so many changes going on where you could lose everything. when things change with the federal government or private companies, understanding, hey, this private company requires this, the federal government requires this, all the different updates. And it's one reason why we are fully dedicated to just flood insurance, so that we can make sure that you're always protected. You have the coverages that you need. You know about changes that may be happening that you need to be aware of. Maybe you need to move from a federal policy to a private policy because the replacement cost on your property has changed, and different things like that when it comes to limited options. You know, my educational background is in flood mitigation. I bought a house in a flood zone, had a terrible disaster with it, and that's one of the reasons why flood insurance is all that we offer. Now we offer some things like flood zone changes and things like that, but when it comes to flood, we are solely focused on helping you make sure that you never have to experience a flood. Because look, it's no fault of the insurance agent or the carrier typically, but a flood insurance claim could be the most catastrophic thing you ever go through. And one reason is that it's not like a home insurance claim, it's not like an auto insurance claim. It's usually very devastating and widespread, and it can take time to get these things settled. And that's why focus solely on flood insurance is what we do here. It's why we're called the Flood Insurance Guru. So I'm Chris, the Flood Insurance Guru, and I hope that this video has helped address some of your concerns and the problems we have here at the Flood Insurance Guru. Look, we'd love the opportunity to help you with your flood insurance, to help you minimize your flood risks, and it's very simple. In the description of this video, you can download our flood insurance guide. You can even take the 3 simple steps of getting a quote. It's this simple. Step 1, fill out the form. Step 2, review your proposal. And step 3, finalize your policy. It's that simple.